The new 2025 version will use a plug-in hybrid powertrain to give a significantly enhanced 576 horsepower or 603 HP when using the optional race start mode. Those figures mean the new E53 makes more power than the previous generation Mercedes-AMG E63 S. This is the sort of inflation we can all get behind. The new E53 Hybrid uses the same engine as the GLE53 Hybrid we told you about last October, but it gains a more powerful electric motor. The E53's 3.0-liter twin-turbocharged straight-six makes a peak of 443 horsepower and works in conjunction with an electric motor that sits between it and the 9-speed transmission within the gearbox housing. It's capable of delivering up to 161 horsepower and 352 pound-feet by itself, with a short-term power overboost in the race start mode that comes as part of the optional AMG Dynamic Plus package. The combined torque peak is quoted at 553 pound-feet. AMG claims a 3.8 second 0 to 62 mph time for the E53 Hybrid sedan in race start, and 0.2 slower without it. We managed to reach 60 miles per hour in 4 seconds flat in the previous E53 Coupe and can safely predict the new car will improve on its official figures. Electrical power comes from a 21.2 kWh 400-volt battery pack located under the rear floor, which is large enough to deliver meaningful electrical range. In Europe, AMG says it is targeting a 62-mile or 100 km WLTP rating, which will unlock EV tax benefits for owners in various countries. EPA numbers will certainly be less than that, but the E53 Hybrid should still be able to deliver more than 40 miles of EV range, and it can drive at up to 87 miles per hour under electrical power. Top speed is quoted in Europe as 155 miles per hour for the regular car, 174 miles per hour with the Dynamic Plus pack. The E53 Hybrid will also be easier to recharge than most plug-ins tend to be, with the option of 60 kilowatts DC fast charging that will allow the battery's state of charge to be taken from 10 to 80% in as little as 20 minutes. Even without specifying the DC charger, the onboard AC charger works at up to a respectable 11 kilowatts. The hybrid system has brought 2 new driving modes: electric, which runs the car as an EV until the battery depletes, and battery hold, which will maintain charge level for later deployment. When driving electrically, the E53 Hybrid has a haptic throttle pedal that will stiffen to indicate the point at which maximum performance is being delivered. Pushing beyond that will start the engine and switch to hybrid operation. While the E53 Hybrid does get to look more muscular than the standard E-Class, plenty of visual headroom is still being left for the E63 that we confidently expect to follow. The E53 gets a new radiator grille featuring AMG's familiar vertical strakes and with an illuminated surround, a deeper front bumper, and widened front fenders 0.4 inch broader on each side. Unfortunately, the fenders also get what looked to be vents set into the trailing edge, but which turned out to be blanks on closer in.